Well, good evening. It is Monday night, and a pleasure, a thumbs up to you here for the EriDan Film Festival, the night where we join together with friends and family to discuss movies. So we want to invite you to join us at EriDanLive.com, where we will let you come in and join us, or you can just stay in the chat room and you can tell us your opinions there. We're going to bring some people in. We're going to talk to people. We're going to talk movies and TV and all sorts of stuff. And so you don't want to miss this night. It's a fun night. Dan Rosenberg on assignment. We'll discuss that more later as the night continues. But for now, let's bring in Stacy and Wade. Stacy and Wade jumping right to you guys this time.
I guess.
You know, wow, with nobody else here.
Well, you know, we have to be talking.
Dan is in the comments section. He's currently flying at 34,000 feet, busy on his coast to coaster world comedy tour. Flying across the mid-Atlantic states. Yeah, so Dan, we I don't think we're going to see Dan from the middle aisle seat that he is currently taking on his way back home to Seattle. But anybody else is welcome to join us, EriDanLive.com. And I know we'll get some people in later as the show goes on, because I'm sure people are super, super pumped to talk about your movie, Stacy. And let's see.
What's wrong with my movie?
Dana's in the middle. Whoa. Well, it's interesting. You know, so you chose Three Musketeers from 1993. And if you don't count the Christmas movies, this would be our lowest critics rated movie since Cats.
Really?
You know, so yeah, so it's not as bad. It doesn't rate quite as bad as Cats.
Interesting. I did not know that, because I enjoy it. So
there you go.
I can see why it would be low ratings, but I wouldn't. I'm shocked that it'd be very low.
Well, the critics gave it a 30.
Wow.
I made a mistake on my graphic and I gave it a 40 from the critics, but actually on Rotten Tomatoes, it currently has a 30.
Wow. Well, what's the audience score for Rotten Tomatoes?
The audience score. Well, I'm glad you asked. We should talk about this movie, shouldn't we? So this movie, any movie starring Charlie Sheen right off the bat. I mean, come on. 1993, rated PG. Charlie Sheen, Kiefer Sutherland, Chris O'Donnell, Oliver Platt, Tim Curry, Rebecca De Mornay. There was quite a cast here. Our second movie, directed by Stephen Herrick, we'll talk about that too. The audience gave it a 62. The critics did give it a 30. I inadvertently, in my typo, gave it a 40. With a budget of $30 million, they made $54 million with this movie. So there you go. So the audience not too bad. With a 62. I guess it depends on how you're rating a 62.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of a 62. Brian's here.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, how are you, Brian?
I'm doing pretty good.
Are you still snowed in?
No. It melted.
Okay. I saw that there was another big snowstorm last week. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was like it wasn't as bad as the other one that we had, the 30 inches.
That's good.
Did you get a chance to watch this movie, Brian?
I did. I just finished it. That's why I was late.
Very nice. This was your first time watching this movie.
No,
this was actually my first time.
Oh wow!
What? I would have thought I would have seen it.
Yeah.
But no, I avoided this like I avoided the theme song from the movie.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of theme songs. On location.
Oh, that theme song. Don't remind me of the theme song, please.
I don't even know what it is.
Oh,
Brian Adams.
One and all for you.
All about love, all the love. It was just awful. Sting, Rod Stewart, and Bryan Adams
Oh yeah.
as basically
Power
singing Musketeers. That's why they had all three of them do it.
Well, you figure, everything I do it for you worked so well from Robin Hood for Bryan
Which
Adams.
I watched yesterday.
You watched Robin Hood yesterday night.
Oh, because that's what I wanted to pick. However, it was not streaming anywhere for free.
Oh, that is a problem.
Yeah.
My problem with this couldn't live up to the casting of the 1972 version. I mean, Christopher Lee, Charlton Heston, Richard Chamberlain, Michael York. That was just star-studded. This was basically. You never heard of that one?
Never have to watch it.
Wow.
This
That's
is her
Raquel Welch.
Three Musketeers movie.
No.
I can probably say something early because I have no idea how long Connection's going to last.
Yeah, it's not lasting right now.
I'd like it better if it was Three Musketeers, because as a Three Musketeers movie, it doesn't really work. It's way slapstick,
Yeah.
too silly. It's an adventure movie. It's as much comedy as anything. That's not what I want Three Musketeers. I read a book in middle school, loved it, and that's just not that.
Yeah.
So this is the second movie that we've done by this director, who also did
Yes.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Explains a little bit.
Now we didn't do these movies, but he also directed The Mighty Ducks, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. And
He's a very Disney director.
he is. But the one thing on his IMDb page that caught my attention was that in 2003 he directed a TV movie called Young MacGyver. And the story of MacGyver's nephew.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Leonard Maltin in his review of the Three Musketeers, because Kiefer Sutherland and was it Charlie Sheen were in Young Guns. He referred to it as Young Swords.
Oh my gosh. And Reagan was watching it intermittently with us, and finally she goes, "That's Kiefer Sutherland." Yeah.
She couldn't tell because of that amazing French accent that he was using.
Yeah.
I don't mind that, to be honest, because French people don't speak English with a French accent. They speak French. So you're already doing it in English anyway. So it doesn't really bother me that they don't have French accents.
They don't
Me
have
too.
any accents though, so you can't. They're all like nobody except for the actual one French person in the film seems to be
Queen.
put on any kind of accent, whether it's
Tim
English
Curry
or
was
French.
Tim Curry was sort of the saving grace for me. He's the one person who sort of had the gravitas and the right flamboyance for his role. The weakest was Chris O'Donnell. Was awful.
He really was.
Absolutely horrible.
And so was Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen was not good.
He was just being Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, he was terrible. Oliver Platt always makes me laugh, and he wasn't even doing that.
Platt was okay. Platt was okay, and Sutherland wasn't bad.
Yeah, he was still kind of newish, I would guess.
Yeah,
Young.
and
Yeah.
Fiona from Burn Notice.
Right. We were Reagan pointed out her name. She was that, and I'm like, what? And I remember thinking back then, who the heck is this girl? I've never seen her in anything because I hadn't yet. So I liked her in this.
Yeah, she was fine. I had no complaints about her.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I had to look up the guy who played the king because he just looked so young, and he was actually in My Left Foot, if I remember correctly. And a couple other things.
In Your Left Foot?
He was in Your Left Foot, yes.
My Left. It was a movie about.
Yes, it was a Daniel Day-Lewis movie. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, and a few other things that I was like, oh, I remember those movies, and I was shocked that it was him. So, yeah.
He was a baby face in this, boy.
Really, and then that Prince Valiant hairstyle.
Yes. And he wasn't great, but it sort of worked in his role because he was supposed to be a young, naive, lacking confidence king. So it kind of worked.
Yeah.
That was Hugh O'Connor. Hugh O'Connor, who
Yeah.
was also in Chocolat.
Yes.
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah.
Yes. I knew there was other things we had seen him in. Yeah.
And
Well,
I just found that when Chris O'Donnell would talk, it took me completely out of the period. He just has a way of speaking that was just, hey, dude, almost. It was.
Yeah.
it was a little, yeah, like if somebody just started talking with their Pittsburgh accent.
Yeah. Hey, you guys want to get down and restart the Musketeers?
Exactly.
It didn't feel like a period piece.
Yeah.
None of it really did.
No.
Except the costumes and sets were, for the most part, pretty solid, and they did hold that up.
Yeah.
But then the performances sort of seemed to contrast with that.
Yes.
Yeah. My favorite thing was Tim Curry with his big cape, like Darth Vader. You needed some Darth Vader music with that red cape, though.
I thought Tim Curry was almost too creepy in this.
Yes, he was a little slimy.
That was the role played by Charlton Heston in the '72 version, Cardinal Richelieu.
Now,
And
is the story?
then Rockfort, Captain Rockfort, was played by Christopher Lee in the 1972 version. Yeah,
I have never seen that, never heard of that version. I've seen
it was actually released as two movies. It was released as The Three Musketeers was sort of part one, and then they released the second half as The Four Musketeers.
Ah.
I see. I remember some of the episodes.
It wasn't great, but it was good.
But not very many. And that's what my mom loved, was the TV show in the 50s. And I can't remember who was in it.
I was actually hoping to reread the book, but the translation I wanted to read, I couldn't get in time.
Yeah.
But I'll be rereading it sometime in the next month or two. I put it on my queue. 'Cause I really loved that book in middle school.
That's good. I've never read it. I've read
It's long. Well, that's if I'm remembering right. I don't remember if it was middle school or high school. Becca, our daughter Becca, had a list of books that she could pick from to read one from, and she picked the shortest one, which was The African Queen by C.S. Forester.
Yeah.
And she got my recollection is she got about less than 50 pages, maybe as few as 20 into it, and said, I can't read this. And she instead picked The Three Musketeers and liked it, even though it was about 4 times as long.
Yeah. Some things are easier to read.
Yeah.
Really?
It was more engaging for her. It held her interest more. She was bored by The African Queen.
Yeah. Adam, I'm surprised. I thought this would be something that you might enjoy a little bit.
I did enjoy it. It wasn't bad. My expectations when I hear The Three Musketeers are perhaps too high. Because I love the book and I love that style of swashbuckling adventure. And this had too much slapstick and too much. And I didn't feel the casting was great.
Yeah.
I like the slapstick.
Adam says that this is his first time and probably last.
Yeah.
He asks about the amount of adaptations, and he says he loves Tim Curry, but this movie was so bad and cheesy as all get out. So
yeah,
I like cheese.
It was cheesy. Oh yeah,
there was definitely some cheese. Brittany, Cam Lime, I've seen it, and
too many chase scenes. Way too many chase scenes.
So there you go.
Yes. Agree.
Cody points out that either the movie or us is a beautiful group of people.
It's us.
And then Dan wants to know why anybody would want to be reading a book. This is a movie show.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I get
Brian
that. I'm sure that'd be Reagan's opinion.
Yeah. So Brian,
I do like cheese.
So you like this movie?
I did.
Good.
Yeah.
Was it your first time?
I liked it back when I was a kid too. So.
Oh, okay.
So fond memories.
This was my first time seeing this version.
It kind of has a little bit of Princess Bride vibes to me.
A little bit.
A little bit.
But not on that level.
No, it's not. No,
Princess
it's not
Bride didn't have a lot of chase scenes, luckily.
Yeah. I picked it because I did enjoy it in the 90s, and I remember showing it to 7th or 8th graders when I was subbing in Grove City. And it was so funny. I have not seen this movie probably since before the kids were born. So that's 25, at least 25 years. And I remembered so many lines right before they came up, and I've only seen it twice, I think. and I'm like, and I would just laugh because I remember them, and because I think they were things that were said a lot in just popular culture or in culture. People would repeat them, and it made me laugh that I remembered so many things from this movie.
I also cannot accept martial arts in the Three Musketeers.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to agree.
Yeah. France, sure. Let's have an Asian guy doing kicks and No, that did not work at all.
You weren't feeling that. Cody, actually, Cody's in the chat room, but he says he'd join if he could, but he's stuck in bed with a fever of 102 in a trash can and no meds. So we hope you're feeling better soon, Cody.
And you get DoorDash to bring you some meds.
Dan has mistaken Dave for Cody and asks if he's driving up from West Virginia for the comedy show on Saturday. And so, no, that is not what's happening. That is Dave that is in the car. I'm assuming Eclipse driving your Eclipse.
I think back from Ohio, Cleveland, a little west of Cleveland for the Eclipse. Traffic getting there wasn't bad. Traffic getting back has been insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
Oh, we got a great view of the Eclipse, so I was happy.
That's good.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah, 79 north.
Here.
79 north from Pittsburgh up to Erie was packed.
I'm sure.
That packed, unless there was an accident or something.
And he was only going to Slippery Rock, so.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Apparently, I misunderstood. Dan just wants to know if Cody is driving up from West Virginia for. Dan is doing a comedy show this Saturday in Sewickley, Pennsylvania. So I'll give Dan a plug.
It's near us, Cody.
People could join. People could join all of us. And
Wayne and I will be there. It's his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
We're excited.
And Dan saw 92% of the Eclipse.
Oh, good. That's
and he was driving an Eclipse at the same time.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah, we drove up to get the totality, which is pretty cool. And actually, there was on the bottom of it, there was a bright red spot that was clearly a giant flare at totality, which is really cool. Yeah,
that's neat.
Yeah, I could see that on the news when they showed it.
Yeah.
There was one up on the right-hand side too, but not as big.
But I couldn't see that one. We saw the one on the bottom. Yeah.
So, Brian, you were going to say something about the scene?
The scene that
let's talk about the movie.
To me, since I was a kid, was when they were teaching D'Artagnan about wenching.
Oh, yeah.
I was a kid all the way until now.
I like that they used it as a verb.
Yeah.
Yeah, wenching. And I love the guy who was always chasing him and screaming his name.
I know.
It's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like at the end and they're all like chasing him away. I loved that.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's why I like it. Yeah, it's not your typical Robin Hood adventure movie. It's a cheeseball Disney movie with heartthrobs.
A couple of rather violent deaths in it.
Yeah, it did.
There's no blood.
Yeah.
But especially in the cave, the
yeah,
it's got kind of a brutal.
For sheer numbers, the falling wheel that takes out the entire group of soldiers at one shot.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Very, very interesting.
I think the Porthos guy is hilarious too.
Mm-hmm.
He was the best of the. He was the best of the three of the four, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Oliver Platt in that. I just thought he was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to have a sort of body, over the top, devil may care role, which fits the movie better because this is a more broad comedy-ish type movie, whereas the seriousness of Athos, and Aramis's dedication to his faith and all of that is sort of at contrast to sometimes of the slapsticky nature of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that Charlie Sheen's like performance wasn't the greatest though. So
No.
that's kind of
It
Yeah.
usually is. He's an okay actor. He's not a great actor.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
don't think he's even okay, Dave.
I think you put him in the right role, like as Wild Thing in minor and
Yeah.
Major League. He's
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
but he's
Okay.
not a great actor by any means.
Yeah. I like what Adam said, that Oliver Platt did not fit in with the other four. He's absolutely right. He
Yeah.
did not.
Yes.
It was just
Yep.
an odd grouping.
No, there wasn't they just didn't form this amazingly tight knit group that you would believe would
Right.
actually hang out together.
Exactly.
Well, you also have the between D'Artagnan, Aramis, and Athos, you have sort of the three heartthrobbish looks that they clearly cast as much for their looks as anything else.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have Porthos, who's just looks like he just rolled out of bed, with a flag and a beer in his hand and never spilled a
Right.
drop.
Exactly. Yeah. I felt that even back in the 90s when I watched it the first time, that they just didn't fit together.
Dan says that Oliver Platt is great in The Bear, a TV
Mm.
show. I have not seen The Bear.
So
I've
you
seen
wanna-
Cocaine Bear, but not The Bear.
Yeah.
You've seen Winnie the Pooh.
I have seen Winnie the Pooh. I've seen BJ and the Bear.
Yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And we watched Paddington too.
Yeah, and I have seen Paddington too. Multiple times.
Margaret pointed out. Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen the play The Bear.
Well,
Okay.
It's a one
I've
act.
heard of that.
It's a one act.
Well, are we going to move on? Are we already ready?
I think we could score it.
Let's do it.
First.
And I knew it was going to bring me up in the main box, but I will bring up Stacy in the main box.
Yeah.
You get to rate your movie first.
All right. Well, I enjoy this movie, and I will watch it again because I do. Because there are a lot of stupid movies that people enjoy, and this is definitely one of them.
How do you really
And-
feel?
I love Tim Curry. I love Oliver Platt in this. I just and I love the cheesiness of it, and I can't help it. But I'm not going to score it really high either. But I'm going to do better than either the critics or the audience has done, and I'm going to give it a 77.
77. Well, that's better than a 30. How about you?
Yeah.
Will?
Yeah. No, I agree that it's good entertainment.
Mhm.
Kind of got a little historical. I like Three Musketeers too,
Mm.
and I don't think I've ever seen the '70s movie. I'm going to have to look that one up.
You should look it up. It's not great. It has its cheesiness too, but I really like it.
Yeah, well, I like Charlton Heston and
Yeah, he
those
does.
guys. So, yeah. So, actually, I'm going to give it a 75. I think it was pretty good. It was cheesy, and some things casting could have been better. But
Yeah.
Other than that,
Very good. Very good. Still better than the critics or the audience. Brian.
I'm going to rate it higher.
What were the
just
critics and
because-
audience scores, by the way?
I don't even
30
remember.
and 62.
Yeah, the 30 critics gave it a 30.
Ooh,
the
wow.
audience gave it a
They
60.
gave it a 30.
I was
That's-
shocked by that. I was shocked by that.
I don't know. Maybe it's like a subjective kind of thing, but I was just having fun with it today, so I'm gonna give it
All
like
of
an
this is
82.
subjective.
Yeah.
That's very
I
true.
would- It made me chuckle a lot, so
Yeah.
it gets a lot of points for that.
Yeah.
She said 82?
82.
82, more than
That's a good,
respectable.
healthy score.
Mhm.
Speaking of respectable, Dave. Uh-oh, we lost Dave.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh, here we go.
I did like it. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sometimes.
Okay. I did like it. As I said, I have trouble. If it had just been, as some generic adventure movie or adventure comedy, I might have liked it a little more. But the Three Musketeers sets expectations for me. I agree completely with Stacy that Tim Curry and Oliver Platt are the two highlights of the casting. They really do a good job. A lot of people online seem to really love the guy who played Roquefort. I thought he was okay. I didn't think he was that great. But I'd probably give it about what Stacy did, except for I have to knock off 5 points for the martial arts. I really do. So I give it a 72.
Wow, I'm impressed. I expected a little lower. Dan coming in with us.
No, like I said, I sort of enjoyed it, but
Yeah, Dan said it was fun to watch, and I love seeing the cast.
Yeah.
So toying, I have no idea. So seeing the cast so young, not so toying. There we go. And he gives it a 77. And no score from Dan's mom.
Okay.
And I gotta say, this is not. I didn't hate this movie. That's about all I can say.
Yeah.
So I'm not in the who's that girl category.
Thank God.
I just didn't think it was anything that I enjoyed. It was I was really glad when it was over because it was just long. It wasn't long, but it just felt long for me. Like it just felt like if it was movie of the week on like a made for TV movie, I'd be a lot more forgiving.
Yeah.
But the fact that this was a major motion picture, and I'm comparing it to other major motion pictures, I'm at like a 57.
Oh wow.
Yeah. No.
I can see that, and because if I didn't watch it when I was younger and have like these like, because that's what we used to do. We'd rent movies and we watched a lot of movies for dates after we were married. And so just if something was funny, and that was it, just you have a higher rating in your head. Not that I was rating it then, but just better memories of it.
Well, and I assume that if it was ever streaming and I put the pirate movie into this it would score much worse.
Yeah.
Although this movie feels like it's around the same quality, and some of the acting is on the same level as the pirate movie.
It has a much smaller cast.
And Adam Jones' movie was too cheesy and goofy and gives it a 26.
But there was no Goofy in there.
There was, actually, the Disney Three Musketeers. There was the animated one that has Goofy in it.
We watched it right after.
We watched it afterwards. We redeemed it a little bit.
You're like, why didn't I pick that one?
Because I just can't do cartoons. Wait, and actually, we turned it on and it was already started. Reagan had been watching it earlier in the day, randomly. So we watched the last 15 minutes of it. So,
well, interestingly enough, if I can get my screens, there's too many buttons to push. If I can get all my buttons to press, there we go. Three Musketeers comes in with a 66.57. And sandwiched in right between two of Stacy's other movies, Experiment in Terror and Swiss Family Robinson, and right below that is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
I still want to change my score. I still want to change my score for Experiment in Terror, but because I'm mad that I didn't score it higher.
Oh, you should have showed it more love.
I should have.
That's right, exactly.
You were swayed by our criticisms of it.
That's right.
You're
right. This is garbage.
Very long, and I didn't. You can enjoy your movie.
Yeah, you should enjoy your movie.
And I did. That one I should have scored that in the 90s instead of 80.
Oh, it probably wouldn't move the needle that much.
I know, but it's just for me, knowing
what you would feel better knowing that you had given it all the love it deserved.
Exactly.
All right, now we get to find out what Dave's movie is for next week. Here we have a little bump. There it is, a little bumper there.
Okay, I debated, and I finally tried to keep it simple and wanted something that was somewhat different than we've watched recently. Something that had some comedy in it, but didn't have to be a complete comedy. It was something I would have picked probably a year or two ago, but it was never streaming, and it is now, which is Stranger Than Fiction.
There it is. You have been talking about that forever.
Adam's gonna die.
I don't think so. When I deliberately didn't pick Talladega Nights for my sports movie, because I said, and because Adam would hate it because it's a Will Ferrell movie. He said, actually, he's fine in that one. That's not a bad movie. So it isn't just having Will Ferrell in it. It has to be a Will Ferrell-ish type role. And this is a very atypical Will Ferrell role.
Yeah, this isn't like
Although Adam's comment is immediately yuck.
this isn't.
Is it in yuck as in you've seen it, or yuck as in Will Ferrell?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Why, Adam, are you already anti-Stranger Than Fiction? I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
Dustin Hoffman and Emma Thompson. So, Queen Latifah.
Yeah.
So that's my pick.
Yes, he's like, yeah.
Well, it'll be my second time watching it. The first time I remember being confused.
You gotta pay attention to these movies.
It's not Christopher Nolan level confusion, but there is some of that. I can see it.
All right, Adam gave it the Barbie treatment where he tried to watch it once and couldn't make it through. So maybe he'll be able to watch it through the whole time this time.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll turn out better than he thinks. We've lost Dave.
Yep.
Oh,
We
there he is.
continue
He's
to
back
torture
again.
Adam.
There you go.
Okay.
Well,
I assume are you the only one on the wheel, Eric?
I am currently the wheel for the week after. Currently is just me. I don't think unless Cody or Brittany is available and are able to join, we can spin the wheel if we want to. Seems redundant, but here's the wheel.
Bring your shuffler first.
just for the record.
Land on the
If it's
line.
not me, I'll be really depressed. Hey, look at that. There we go.
It was on the line.
All right.
Look at
All right.
that. Yay.
There you go. So I will have a movie. I have to go through my lists and find something.
Yeah.
We'll see how much we're going to torture Adam for that week, since there are a number of musicals on my list.
To be fair, to be honest, Adam, we're not trying to torture you. It's just
No.
we have some differences in movie likes.
He liked my movie. That was cool. I'm so happy about that.
I think Kiwi Christmas that Adam was the only other person who liked. So he and I do have some shared tastes.
That's true. That is also very true. I promise it won't be Cats again. That's all.
All right, I'm going to drop now because I'm going to held together as long as it has. So I will see you guys next week.
Thank you for joining.
See you.
Pulling
See you
apart.
next week. Drive
Bye-bye.
safely. And we will go and do this.
Thank you.
All right. Let's talk about what else you've been watching. Dan says that was a great pick from Dave. It was a great pick.
We have been watching Reservation Dogs on
Reservation Dogs?
Hulu.
on Hulu. Yeah, it's about an American Indian reservation, a group of kids from there.
Oh.
It was interesting. The last season, it just turned into some backstories, and then they canceled. They wrapped everybody up. I didn't like that. I liked the stories, but I wish they had moved forward with that.
I was not familiar with this.
Yeah, it's. I haven't seen the first season. Wade was watching it before me, so I watched, I think, second season and third season with him.
Yeah, they have one of their friends commit suicide, and then they do things for him, kind of, and
Okay.
just weird family dynamics.
And it's interesting to see that. And it's Taika Waititi,
Okay.
producer,
Yep.
and it was interesting. What else? There was something else we were watching.
Well, Resident Alien.
Well, Resident Alien.
You
We're
guys and your Resident Alien.
It is funny.
Mm-hmm.
I
It's
do.
fun, sure.
Yeah.
I'm on almost through season 2, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Season 3 you have to get on Peacock because it's up to like 8 episodes, and we're watching it weekly because
I feel like I'm gonna have to start watching this just because there's been so much
pretty great.
conversation about.
I slowed down. Just I forget what episode it was. I was just like, I'm gonna give it a break and come back to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I recommend
It looks very good.
you have to push through at first because you're not sure how it's going to go, but it's worth it. It's cheesy. It's funny. It's
Okay.
stupid. I love it.
Has any of you ever watched the series Travelers? Stars Eric McCormick as they're a group of time travelers who jump into people's bodies right before they're about to die.
Ew,
I
no.
think I tried it. I think I tried it once, but I don't think I actually got into it.
We're about 2 episodes in, and I'm debating it. I'm still debating whether we're going to keep going. It's okay. It's
I was
okay,
like-
but I'm not hooked.
Yep, that's what happened to me.
It's had 3 seasons. So,
I watched, like you said, I watched 2 episodes, and I was like, I'm gonna find something else.
oh,
Yeah.
Dan loves Travelers. There you go. Dan's any time travel TV show. Dan did start watching Resident Alien.
Nice.
And also is watching the Curb Your Enthusiasm finale, which had some info on there. So there you go. I'm assuming he's saying that Back to Love's Travelers, it has an amazing ending, which actually was something I was concerned about, only having 3 seasons. I was wondering if it was one of these shows that got canceled before it really had a chance to wrap things up.
Yeah. Yeah, you hate when that happens because then you just feel like you're missing something.
Right. And you've invested all this time.
Right. Or they drag it out. Oh, I know what we've been watching. Renegade Nell.
Oh yeah.
What?
Disney. I haven't checked it out yet.
It's really good.
It has one of the girls that were from Dairy Girls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Orla. She's a fantastic
Yeah,
actress.
she's a pretty good actress.
Yeah, it's
All right.
really good. I knew we were watching something else.
I've missed this.
Oh, it's so good.
What are we talking about here? We've got a girl with a pistol. That's all I
Yeah.
got here.
I think Pirates, right?
Yeah.
She's a bit of a legend, according to the tagline.
So she has this little fairy that enters her body and helps her become a fighter, to put it mildly. And she's just fighting against injustices against her family and others. And Wade told me that she can't fight.
Yeah, she can't pick a fight and get the fairy to help.
Oh,
But he can help her if
her
somebody
defend.
picks a fight against her.
Yeah.
interesting.
It's good. It's very Disney-esque. Pirate movie, not pirate,
Yeah.
but the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Caribbean-ish.
Okay.
It's kind of like that, but she's not a pirate.
High quality,
I think it's high quality.
decent.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam says it's a hard pass. From Adam.
Well, I thought so
Well,
too.
there's a lot of fighting.
There's a lot of fighting. I was going to pass too, but they were already watching it. Again, this is how I get sucked into TV. Wade was watching the shows or Reagan, and they texted me and told me that they had been watching it. So
you had to get in there.
Yep, and then we finished it in a weekend.
Oh, my family watches shows that I just don't like Law and Order and Station 19 and stuff like that. I'm just no, I don't care about that.
Law and Order has too many that they've been there, done that to me. I used to watch some of them.
24 seasons from Law and Order.
Gosh,
You got to give them credit for that.
Well, Resident Alien makes fun of
forever.
it.
24 seasons of Law and Order. And that's without getting into the spin-offs.
Yeah, the alien loves Law and Order.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he makes it's he just he jokes about it, and that makes me happy.
Yeah. It's so funny.
It's really funny. My wife loves Law and Order. I have not ever watched one Law and Order.
What was the other one? That doctor one. Grey's Anatomy. Yep, don't like it.
I watched the first 3 or 4 seasons of that, and then I was like,
Yeah.
it's done.
Yeah, there was ER before that, and that was better.
Right. I don't enjoy ER either.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but we did.
No, it's just
feels like it was so long ago.
Yeah,
We started rewatching it, and then we lost track of it again. But it was good. It was good to go. But even Reagan was like, "Oh, this is not bad." So,
Wow, even Reagan.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That it wasn't bad. 15 seasons ER was on for.
Oh yeah.
And starting in
I-
'94, so
I watched,
shortly
like,
after Three Musketeers,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
could start
Decided to do
watching
something.
ER.
See,
I
this
I
was
watched an episode. Yeah, I was like, nah.
the ER came out the fall that we got married. We got married in the spring, so it was Thursday night TV. It was I don't even remember. It was Friends.
Oh gosh, Friends, Mad About You, Seinfeld.
Yes, that was
there was
Thursday night
quite the
lineup.
lineup.
And
I
so that was
remember
our,
Mad About You.
yeah.
Oh,
I
we were
like Mad About You.
huge Mad About You fans in my.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, I liked it.
We watched-
ER brought you George Clooney.
Yep.
Yeah. I just don't like the doctor shows.
Yeah, I kind of yeah.
Not
I
enough
kinda-
helicopters? What's the problem? Wait, look
Yeah.
at it.
There is a
Once-
helicopter in
Every
it.
once in a while, a helicopter comes in. That's the same thing here when I'm down at UPMC Presby and I'm working and I go up to the cafeteria. It's right next to the landing pad. Every once in a while, a helicopter will come in at lunchtime, and I'm like, oh yeah, made my day. You know?
Yeah, but you can't be too excited when you see it because you know it's bad news.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's bringing somebody so yeah.
That's not.
Must see
Yeah.
TV. You know,
Yes.
you talk about must see TV. I've been listening to Conan O'Brien's podcast, and he had Carol Burnett on, and they were talking about the days when her show was on, but it was preceded by the Bob Newhart show, MASH, and two other, All in the Family, and one other unbelievable. I can't remember what the fourth one was, but it's like, talk about a lineup, and then Carol Burnett, right? Like, I mean,
Can't
we
even.
just never had that kind of thing happen again. Also, speaking of Sirius XM, if you're not listening to the podcast, to Conan O'Brien's radio on Sirius XM, you should be listening to the Taylor Swift radio station they just brought out on channel 13 on Sirius XM. And then Adam saw Frozen Empire again.
I don't,
What is Frozen Empire?
Don't even know.
never heard of it.
Isn't that a? I don't know what Frozen Empire is. It's
Maine?
Ghostbusters.
Movie. Yeah,
It's
a
the
good
Ghostbusters movie
movie. Yeah.
that came out.
Which one is that with the Stranger Things guy?
It's the newest one.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the newest one.
Up after
Dan was an extra in ER.
Oh, geez, Dan was an extra in ER.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was. He was patient zero.
I remember.
Was he?
No, he was not. I have no idea what he was.
Got bit by the monkey? No.
He got bit by the monkey.
Oh no.
He started a dandemic.
Hey,
Did.
Eric, what was that lineup you said? It was MASH and
It was All in the Family, MASH, Bob Newhart, and I think maybe Mary Tyler Moore.
I was just gonna say
Yeah,
it might have been
yeah,
Mary
that makes
Tyler
sense.
Moore.
Yeah, and then Carol Burnett, the Carol Burnett show.
My
Mhm.
gosh, that's
Yeah.
what I want to watch now.
Yeah, that would make it.
Never mind.
I've honestly thought it is surprising that they don't recreate on the Nick at Night or whatever, recreate the actual nights, right?
Yeah.
Like give you a Thursday night that is, maybe not the Cosby Show, but maybe give you.
I forgot about the Cosby Show. Yeah,
Well, those were. I mean, that's when must see TV
yeah.
really started, was when it was Cosby Show, A Different World, and some of I forget what followed that, but then it was ER. It was
Mhm.
hmm Yeah, that's crazy.
We did score this bad boy, but you can throw in a score
Yep.
if
Me
you've
too.
seen this movie recently and you want to score Three Musketeers. You should definitely give us your score.
Yeah, we're not off the air yet.
No, that's right. Exactly. It's never too late.
It's never too late.
Well,
Fair.
it's always too late within the week.
Okay.
So Cody hitting the showers. Let me see. I know these shows were at the time where shows were considered funny, but I don't find them funny at all. Poor Cody. Absolutely. Let's say your prayers for Cody. The chat has gone its own direction, and it's all downhill.
They're all related.
They're all, you know.
Yeah,
all
it
in it.
is.
Oh, this is great. This is
Oh.
great content. There we go.
Well, we don't see that. You're sharing that, Eric.
And so here we go. Brittany giving us 79,
I'm still the highest.
which is almost as high as Brian, but does
Almost.
help a little bit.
Is that
bumped
Brittany
up
or is that
the score
Richard?
A little bit for
That's
it.
Brittany. That's
Okay.
Brittany. Yeah.
So yeah, so we'll let Cody feel better. Cody, we
Yeah.
definitely all hope that you're feeling better.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
And that everything stays inside where it belongs for the rest of the
Except the stuff that doesn't belong.
Exactly.
night.
But you hate to expel it. It's worse.
Yeah.
No. Let me see where this is going to bump your movie up there, Stacy.
Uh-oh.
I'm so
Ooh.
excited. Oh yeah. You're no longer down in the category of Swiss Family Robinson and Experiment and Taylor.
All of my movies, though, are right there in a little hunk.
They were, but now they're jumping up. I'm so
Jumping.
excited. It jumped spots. It's like this is like Casey Kasem's countdown here.
Mhm.
Look at that, jumping up 7 spots. Thanks to
Shush.
Brittany. 3 Musketeers beating out Full Court Miracle and the Bellboy.
Wow.
Couldn't overtake Gunga Din, but did very well.
Wow.
So there you go, a little bump up there.
Impressive.
Thanks to Brittany.
So if I were allowed to give my movie what I had wanted to, it would go up more than a few spots. I know.
No. Understand the difference between you rating something an 84 and a 94 isn't going to change it, but adding another person who would give it a 94 would change it dramatically.
Hmm.
Do you understand?
Okay.
Understand how statistics work?
No, I don't. Even though I taught economics for a semester or two.
Another high score would make an impact as opposed to just taking an already high score and making it slightly higher.
Okay.
Would only,
Okay. I do see that.
So yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but it's all right. I don't think you rated it that badly, did you?
I gave it an 80 and it didn't deserve that from me.
Oh man. Experiment and Terror. You did. You gave it an 80.
Yep.
All right. So I'm just gonna pretend, which gave it a 66.89. And if you were to change your score even to 100, it would still be a 69.
Okay. That's fine.
So
All right.
that would be as if it was like absolutely perfect.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right.
And then Cody says he rates it a 99, but then he says, just kidding, he didn't watch it.
Go back to bed.
Look at this. You're speaking with some of the smoking with the high scores. I did not give this last movie a high score. Thank you very much. I was not as brutal as some.
Maybe you need to smoke something though, Adam, because you're not doing it high scores very often. So
That's true.
is it us or is it you? Oh man.
And Adam thinks he gave that movie a super high score, a super low score.
I think you did too.
I'm trying to remember. And of course, I have no memory whatsoever.
I
can
don't
tell you, he gave it a 48. He
That's
gave it
not
a 48, which is not bad for Adam.
That is a
Yeah.
normal.
Mhm.
That's an above average for Adam. Yeah.
Well, Adam's score didn't really start to tank. His scores didn't really go down to the bad area until the beginning of 2022. Before 2022, his scores were more all across the board and more in the 30s to 70s range.
Yeah.
And then starting in 2022, he started taking advantage of the whole scale and giving things a 1 and a 4.
Yeah.
Well, up to that point, he hadn't given anything too crazy.
Yeah.
What's my lowest? I want to know that. That's gonna be fun.
Now, what's that?
What's my lowest score?
What's your lowest score?
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look. I don't think you haven't gone too crazy with anything. You gave Trapped in Paradise a 32. You gave Cats a 21.
Wow.
Cats is probably gonna be your lowest score. But
Cats was really bad.
Yeah.
Cats was amazing.
But it was
I would
much
watch that again right now.
fun to watch. It was a bad movie.
Yeah.
We had a blast tearing it apart while we were watching it.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was an experience.
Um,
You didn't like us tearing it apart.
no.
Oh, and Adam is blaming COVID for why
Okay.
the scores
Makes
went so bad.
Aw.
Oh, is that why you were rating movies so high during COVID?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm wondering. And then it started to wear off.
I don't know. Started to wear off.
Speaking of 2022, what episode are we on tonight? You didn't mention that.
Oh, you're right. Absolutely. This happens to be episode 199.
Ooh.
Actually, no, that's a lie. This is episode 198.
Okay.
Next week will be 199. Obviously, that's the way math works.
Yeah. I do know that much.
So this was 198. We are so close to 200.
Are we doing something special?
Uh,
It's
Or-
going to be your movie, isn't it, Eric?
it will be for my movie. I do.
Yeah.
I get to choose the movie
Yeah.
for our 200th movie. It might be a quadruple feature.
Oh.
It will be the entire Maze Runner series. No, I have no idea.
Oh
I was
man.
thinking more like Lord of the Rings or something, but yeah.
Oh, we've already done one of those.
Yeah.
Do you like the Maze Runner?
There are so many movies that I want to choose. It's I need to see what's actually streaming.
Yeah.
Probably is going to help me narrow it down a little bit here because there are a lot that I would love that I want to talk about. Movies that I really want to talk about with this group.
What musicals are you thinking about?
Well, David mentioned My Fair Lady earlier, which is one of my favorites.
Okay.
But I don't think I would choose that right now. I honestly, there will be a day where I pick Hamilton, but I think I'm probably nice enough not to do that right now.
Hamilton's,
I've seen it.
Hamilton's pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Oh, I love Hamilton so much. There's quite a few musicals on my list. There's also potentially any of the James Bond movies. I think it would be fun to watch a Bond movie and talk about Bond. I think that would be fun. I've got a lot to consider.
I like the what's his name? Is it Pierce Brosnan? Is that his
Like
name?
Pierce Brosnan. Those
I
movies
do
are
enjoy.
so cheesy.
That's why I like him.
But they're all cheesy.
Mhm.
All of them are cheesy.
I don't know. I think the Daniel Craig ones are not as cheesy.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true.
Well,
Daniel
yeah,
Craig ones are pretty
that's
stylish.
as much because I really like the cheesy ones.
Yeah. What?
I don't mind some cheese. I feel like Pierce Brosnan, they leaned into it so much.
Yeah.
It's
And the thing is, we wanted him to be Bond
mhm.
at least 20 years before he
Oh, yeah.
became Bond because he was Remington Steele.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and then he couldn't because his wife was ill and all of that. So when he finally got it, I felt a little let down.
Oh, I
But-
just enjoy it. I just love it.
Oh, and we did too. That was when we Goldeneye. We went on
Dan
Christmas
says he likes
night.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's on the same level as Austin Powers.
No, I would no. I would-
Some of the
I don't know if I go
names,
there, but-
some of the names of the Bond girls are just as bad as what they use.
Oh,
in-
yeah.
Well, that's why.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
Yes.
they did the joke in Austin Powers, right?
Yes.
exactly.
But you don't want
Yeah.
James Bond to be a joke.
I don't think he is. I
I
just
feel like the Pierce Brosnan ones, I don't know. I've watched them within the last 5 years. I've seen them, they did not stand up.
well, I know it's the times.
Yeah,
If you watch them back in the time when they came out,
Well, true.
yeah.
and not now.
they were still
That
cheesy
is, but
then.
that's part of the question, right? I think that's part of the question when we do this is do these movies hold up, or are they only good if you had watched them back in the day and you remember how you felt watching them back in the day?
Right.
Well,
I
or
think it's fine either
yeah,
way.
have you changed or has the times changed?
Well, I think all of it's changed, right?
It's all. I
Yeah.
think it all is relevant.
I think
to
all
each
of it
other.
changes, right?
Yeah.
So things that you used to find funny, you don't find funny. Things that used to be acceptably funny are no longer acceptably funny.
But they're still funny.
Or you secretly still think they are?
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Well, or sometimes you're appalled at what you used to think was funny.
Yeah, there is that. I have had that many times on some comedy shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I liked this when I was young.
I thought that was really funny in the day, and
Oh my goodness!
considered what you were saying.
Yeah.
You have like a little bit of a bad taste in your mouth as you're watching it. Yeah.
You know.
So talking about Bond again.
Yeah.
Did you watch Timothy Dalton in any of them? Did you like him?
I did. I didn't mind his as much. He was very bland.
Was he?
But he was fine. So this was actually, I realize now this is longer than 5 years ago. This was probably, probably almost 9 years ago now, when I had like some major surgery thing and was laid up for weeks and did a complete Bond watch of all the movies.
Wow.
Well, when you have time and you're not allowed to move.
But you planned it.
Oh, yeah. Right. Why not? Right. You got to, you're like, all right, how am I going to get through these 3 weeks where I'm not allowed to move much, and need to limit my activity? What would be the one wildest, longest series of things to watch without
Doctor Who?
24 seasons of ER.
I could not do it. I couldn't even make it through one.
But the Bond movies were interesting to watch back to back.
Yeah,
I bet.
It was an experience. I wouldn't recommend it.
I can't find all of them because they're not streaming on, they're not all streaming. So
no,
I've only seen
they had different rights, different,
Yeah,
for sure.
With all the stuff.
I don't know if you guys have seen it. I found Heroes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's on Tubi, I believe.
Is it?
I think it's the list. Yeah,
I enjoyed Heroes. At least the first season is really good.
A friend of mine used to was an editor on there.
Oh really?
Oh, yeah. Nice. Yeah.
There you go.
Sue Kessler. I think she was an editor or producer or something on it. I can't remember anymore.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I did not know.
Yeah.
That she had done such things.
She was the lady who wrote like the research book on the Wild Wild West, and she produced the first season of the Wild Wild West on DVD and the whole Get Smart series on DVD. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. And she had so many collectibles. She had Rockford's car. She had the Get Smart little red car.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she had a lot of stuff.
Adam agrees. Season 1 is excellent. After that, well, and there's talk. I think we had mentioned this actually a few weeks ago that the writers' strike hit, and they pushed through season 2 anyways with what they had, which was unfortunate.
Yep.
But season 1 that's solid. That is some.
I've heard great things about it.
Yeah.
I would like to go back and rewatch that. That would be
it's on my list. That's why I was mentioning it. I haven't done it yet. Yes, save the world.
I would do that. I would rewatch 24 again. I think that was fun to watch at least the first few seasons of 24. I really enjoyed. That's my Kiefer Sutherland right there. I don't need a Musketeer.
Right.
Which I keep wanting to say Musketeer every time I say Musketeer, but I made it through the night without doing that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think watching 24 the first time, that was good. I hated his daughter.
Everybody hates on the daughter.
Well, she was so bad, and it's just ruined everything. But
she was a good antagonist.
Oh my god. Ugh.
I didn't watch it actually.
Oh, you should definitely watch 24.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's my kind of thing. It's a cop show, right?
Yeah, but it's not like Law and Order at all.
It's not cop. It's spies. It's espionage. It's
terrorist.
Yeah,
Okay.
traitors. It's
streaming on Hulu.
Okay.
And it's supposed to happen in real time. For 24
hours.
Yeah, 24. And this is one of the problems with this is that it was a great gimmick, that 24 episodes, 24 hours,
Yeah.
except at no point does anybody use the restroom. At no point does anybody go to bed.
See, there's only one day, Eric.
You can do it for
I'm
one
just
day.
saying.
You can hold it.
When you
I'm just
you're
saying,
in espionage mode.
there were a lot of filler episodes in
There
20
were.
where not a lot happened.
Yeah, that 3 a.m. one.
So Dan says that Kiefer was great in Designated Survivor and Mousetrap and Rabbit Hole, and 24 ran its course a little long in the tooth. I do agree with that. Again, we ended up with a lot of filler episodes.
Yeah.
He says that Zachary Quinto was a standout in Heroes, and he was. He did.
I don't know which one that is.
Okay.
He was the evil guy, wasn't he? He was.
Oh yes, he did very well. You're right. Yep.
He was the bad guy,
Yeah.
at least in season 1.
The clock guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was wonderful. Yeah.
It's been so long since I've seen it.
I know, that's why it's on my list to watch. I'm like,
That's a good idea.
yes, I'm all about, even if it's just season 1 again.
And he was silent.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, yep. So good.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah.
I think we've done this. I think we did a show.
I think we
We
did.
did. Yeah, I think so.
Put Dan in the comments. What again? And so, there will be some discussion, I believe, in the chat as far as what night we'll be doing this again next week. Because I believe Dan again is on a plane on Monday night.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So
Probably
we
leaving
might
us.
end up having to bump this to either Sunday or Tuesday. But we'll talk about that in the chat and let everybody know
Okay.
and see what works
Alright.
for people. Look at your schedules and we'll throw out some dates and see what works. And so we'll figure something out. But nonetheless, next week we'll talk about Stranger Than Fiction, no matter what night we do it on.
Okay.
And Dan has to run. The internet is getting spotty, and Adam needs to go watch a basketball game. So I think it's over.
All right.
So
All right.
thanks for joining, and
Yeah.
we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
Uh,